Good afternoon and welcome to another Kerfuffle showcase here. Delighted to have Emma from Mio here. How are you, Emma? You okay?
I'm great, thank you, Simon. How are you?
Good. Yes. Yes. Resplendent in pink on a Friday. So what could be better? And as you said, thanks for adding a little bit of colour yourself. That's fantastic. I've got a necklace just like that. I must point out, but only at the weekend.
I'm sure you look fabulous in it, Simon.
I do. Great. Emma, we had John on in July, and obviously he gave us the introduction to Mio there, and it sounded very exciting. And obviously, we said we were going to watch this space. I think, we're here today to get an update of that, aren't we? Because there's some quite exciting developments you've had, going on in the background that are going to really help those people, obviously, engaging with the Mio platform. Obviously, Mio is all about speeding up transactions. Why is that so important?
I think let's deal with the simple stuff first. There's a huge drive across all business at the moment. It doesn't matter whether you're running an agency or a conveyancing business or your Amazon. There's a huge drive for efficiency.
Yeah.
We're all keeping an eye on costs. And Mio, if you start using it tomorrow, and even if there are no other agents in your area using it, Mio has an immediate impact on the efficiency of sales progression.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And if you're more efficient, then you're going to be operating a little bit quicker, and that's going to have an impact on how long it takes to get a sale through to exchange. I think looking at the bigger picture, end of stamp duty holiday is fast approaching. Conveyancing firms are now starting to tell their buyers and sellers that actually the deal might not be done before 31st of March. So there's a lot of focus on getting transactions done quickly. Agents need to turn their pipeline over faster. The faster you can turn the pipeline over, the more properties you can sell. That's really, really key, especially as we come out of what undoubtedly now is a very, very busy period. We've got to be planning for the future when there might not be quite so many deals around. I think finally, it's a really important point. I'm in the middle of buying and selling now, and I went into the process absolutely terrified because I've heard so many bad news stories about, it's going to take ages, and your buyers are going to pull out, and this is going to happen. Now, I'm probably over-informed.
Yeah.
But I think over the last 5 or 6 years, the industry's done such a good job of helping buyers and sellers understand what they can do, that at the same time, I think we've probably terrified them. And that does put people off moving. And this is particularly important because we have quite a few people who are perhaps more mature who would maybe like to downsize to free up some housing stock for families coming through, but they're terrified of doing it because all they hear is, it's complicated, it'll take ages. Yeah. So let's start doing things that allow us to get a message out there that actually this process is not so difficult. Moving home is one of the most important things you do. It changes your life, and we're going to make it as simple and as quick as possible.
Yeah, what could be more important? And what you were talking about there, I think I absolutely concur. Some of the very best agents I've ever seen is focused on turning over the pipeline time and time again, and what they can do to do that more efficiently is obviously critical, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And I've seen a lot of coverage recently about the Mio Chain API. Could you just tell us, I understand an API on a very basic level. Could you just detail what it is, though, and why it's going to be important to agents?
I'm glad you understand what an API is, Simon, because I am not a techie person. And when I came into this, brave new world of prop tech, as we like to call it, it's a word I dislike immensely. I was like, API. I had to Google it to work out what it was. Very simply, estate agents using Mio have benefited from a view of the chain for at least the last 18 months.
Yeah.
So have buyers and sellers, because the chain view that's in the sales progression platform is served up to the buyer or seller in the consumer app. What our chain view API means is that we can serve that same view of the chain up to a conveyancer, a mortgage broker, a lender, or even in some instances a surveyor, probably not quite so pertinent for the surveying profession. So if you're an estate agent and you're working with your local conveyancer and you've got a mortgage broker in branch and they're doing the mortgage, everybody can see exactly what's happening in the chain. They can click on the little Mio node, as we call it, and see exactly what's happening in each part of the process. And that's really powerful because that starts to reduce this constant need for people to be chasing for updates. And that's what the chain view is.
Okay.
The reason it's really important to agents is because when we go and talk to a conveyancer about giving them the chain view, all we ask them for is their updates on the conveyancing process in return. And they come back to Mio through an API. So the conveyancer doesn't have to change the way they work. They don't have to use a new platform. They just keep doing what they do every day. And each time they complete a milestone, that flows through into Mio.
Okay.
And this is all really key because we don't want to ask agents or conveyancers to change the way they work.
Yeah.
Just want to empower them with the information that they're already either writing down or putting into a system. And we're just serving that information up in a very simple way.
Okay, that sounds great. We've actually just got somebody just jump on here. Hi, Christian. He just made just asked the question: does the chain view show all properties in the chain, or just those that use Mio?
Really good question, Christian, and thank you for joining us. It depends on how well the chain is built by the agent who is using Mio at the start of the process. So we have some really fantastic agents who are using Mio day in, day out, and are very diligent about building the chain. So that's the starting point. Has the agent built the chain? Secondly, how many updates are flowing into that chain? Because that's what obviously keeps it updated. Now, the updates can be made by an agent manually updating the platform, or they might flow in from one of our conveyancing integration partners or a surveying integration partner or a search integration partner. So a simple response to your question, Christian, in some instances, yes, the more instances of complete chains will be served up as we get more agents and more data using and flowing into the platform.
Fantastic. Thanks for answering it on the fly. And as I said before, you've been incredibly busy because you've also got a portal data feed. Talk us through that. And again,
so one of the pieces of pushback we have from agents about using Mio is that once a property reaches SSTC, they have to rekey the data from that for that property into the Mio platform because we don't have integrations at the moment with their CRM systems.
Yeah.
We've listened to that feedback, and the easiest way for us to overcome it was to take data feeds from all of the UK's major portals. That data will start flowing into Mio next week, which that if you're an agent using the Mio platform or you're about to start using it, all your property data is already in there. There is no need to rekey anything. That's
massive, isn't it? I mean, that's yeah, I can see you're happy about it.
So I remember, Simon, when I sort of idea came to me, I think it was in May when we were all, oh no, doom. And that's really exciting. I thought that's going to be really difficult to do. And we've worked with a fantastic partner in CoreLogic. Big shout out to the team at CoreLogic. Thank you, guys. And it goes live next Monday, and then we'll keep putting more data in. We're not pushing all the data in all at the same time because it's about 1 million records. But yeah, by the end of next week, we should have about 150,000 property records in.
Oh, I didn't realise you teamed up with CoreLogic because they're enormous, aren't they, in the States and in Australia?
Yeah, American-owned business. So CoreLogic are best known in this country for a platform called eTech, which is used by the UK surveying profession probably for 5, 6, 7 years now. So I've known the team at eTech for a number of years, and great partners to work with, and they themselves have an emerging suite of products for estate agents as well. So
Great. Well, that's a heavyweight team there. That's great to see. Two again tech companies working together, because again, as we know, agents get very frustrated when when partners don't work together there. So you've done something really constructive there, and I think that is massive, isn't it? It's just taking away one of those big objections, isn't it? It's just, oh, we've got to rekey data so it doesn't happen. There's another excuse there. You've taken all that away, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And Simon, you and I were talking before this, and it is, we're developing all the time. You always want to develop faster, but the reality is we have to take 100 small steps every month, and we have to keep doing that and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And that's what will ensure that Mio continues getting better. There's not a silver bullet, unfortunately.
Otherwise, it would be done and it would have been easy, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We were talking offline, and I did say, it was when we spoke to John originally, there's this really exciting thing that just cumulatively over time, as more and more people start using it, the value of it, the sum of the parts, if you like, gets ever more vital. And as you said, you're already delivering massive benefits to agents, but there's also going to be a big critical mass when it reaches that's just going to make it just an absolutely invaluable tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the critical mass is really key, but because of the data we have access to, it also means that we can develop critical mass in a relatively small area. So, for example, if we were working with one agent and they said, actually, we tried to refer most of our conveyancing instructions here, or we tried to refer most of our mortgage instructions here, we can then go and talk to their partners, and we can work with their partners to make this work for them. And that piece about collaboration and partnership, Simon, is so important. We cannot solve this on our own any more than estate agents or conveyancers can sort out our terrible process on their own. We all have to work together, and I am very passionate about that.
I'm really disturbed actually, because my daughter Millie had a magic wand here before, and unfortunately she took it away. But I was going to say, there is no magic wand that you can just wave over it, is it? Well, just to say, I called it first, but Phil's just jumped on here and raving fan for you there. We love Mio, so that's great to hear from the audience as well. Thanks
I hope he does, Simon, because he works for Mio.
I was going to say, okay,
I'd be gutted if one of our team wasn't loving it.
I'm going to say that really awkward. I feel a bit cheeky, Emma. Sort of, almost like a bit. What have you done for me lately? After you've just obviously these big developments you just announced, but what other improvements can agents kind of expect to see from Mio coming up?
So the other big project we're working on for this quarter, Simon, is management information. Delightfully key term, isn't it? Business strategy and whiteboard and
basically, you chin scratching there. Did you see that?
All it means, Simon, is that everybody in the branch, whether they're a sales progressor or a negotiator or the branch manager or a regional director, has really simple access to the information they need to do their job more effectively or run their branch more effectively. So what properties are exchanging? When are they going to exchange? Which deals are struggling? Where are they, what point in the transaction are they struggling at? What's our average transaction time? What's the value of our exchanges for this month, next month, and the following month? Just really good, concise, at a glance data. I've never sold a property, but I come from a sales background. I've used numerous CRM platforms. They were all really, really bad at helping me manage my pipeline, particularly the point between somebody saying yes and you actually getting their money. The bit where all hard work is.
It's not a great experience, is it?
Oh, it's terrible. And that's what we're trying to do with our management information project. The other thing, again, that's really important, you've already referenced, Simon, we're adding more and more data into Mio, probably every single fortnight now. So search is ordered, really important at the moment. There's delays in most of the UK with getting searches back. Our parent is a search provider. We also own 2 other search providers. So we get that data into Mio quite quickly. More conveyancing updates, really important. The conveyancing progression is numerous tasks critical to the process. So lots more data and really good, concise summaries of that data and what it means to agents.
I think that's a really key point, Emma, actually, isn't it? That point, TM is there supporting the whole thing, because it needs a company of this size, scale and resources to make this happen, doesn't it?
I think that the scale is important, Simon. I think what's really critical is, if I look at my senior team in MEO, I've worked around the surveying and resi property industry for over a decade. Nick Ball, who's just joined us as head of sales and client services, was an agent for 20 years, and then he's around the conveyancing sector. John Horton's worked around resi property for 20 years. We've got our chief exec used to do a lot of work in the lending sector, and it's the knowledge and understanding of the end-to-end transaction and what each party needs that's really, really important and does set MEO apart from quite a lot of our competitors.
Well, absolutely. And we were talking before, and I think, you don't need the MI stats to talk about what the best of your users are getting. Just talk us through again. There's the 30 days I think you were talking about, when some of the best of your clients were achieving.
Yeah, so average reporting on average transaction times, that the figures tend to vary quite a lot, but I think we all use a figure of about 120 days, which is clearly stretched over the course of the 4 months. Nobody's fault. Everybody's just incredibly busy, and who knew we were going to get this glorious thing called a stamp duty holiday. So 120 days. Agents using MEO really effectively. So that's in the platform every single day, just progressing their sales. Their average transaction times at the moment are down at about 86 days.
Wow,
it's a considerable time saving.
That really is. That's an absolute eye-opener. That's fantastic. And you were talking there before about collaboration and obviously why it's so important. What can you do to kind of improve the collaboration across the whole sort of, the whole sector? Because it's a bit of a big.
It is. I'm going to start with the fluffy stuff, Simon, which I think is about the language we at MEO use as a business. I really dislike reading articles that blame people. You read lots of articles where people are saying, oh, it's the conveyancer's fault, or it's the agent's fault, or it's the buyer's fault, or it's the lender's fault. We try really hard at MEO not to use that language. There are fantastic people working across the residential property sector, the majority of whom try their hardest to deliver the best possible service for their buyers and sellers, whilst at the same time working with a process that, let's face it, is completely poo. I was going to use a ruder word, but it's poo, isn't it? This is
a Kerfuffle podcast. You're okay.
Right. It's pants. So I think when we're writing articles at MEO, we try to celebrate the hard work of the people who are working across the industry. We talk about empowering people to do the jobs they are already doing a little bit better. This is not about coming in and ripping up what agents do or saying to conveyancers, you've got to use another platform. It's just about very quietly empowering change. And I think, why is collaboration so important? Our property purchase process is pants. I'm going through it now. It's an absolute bloody car crash. But nobody can change the process on their own. Agents can try and do a bit, conveyancers can do a bit, lenders can do a bit, surveyors can do a bit. To make a real change, we've all got to work together. Otherwise, it's like trying to change a car production line by saying, right, John, you go and do that little bit there. And Derek, you go in a room over there and do that bit. And Jane, you're going to do this bit. And then kind of come back and try and stick it all together. And, lo and behold, the car will fall off the line and the robots will blow up. I
bought a car like that, actually.
Let's face it, that's what it feels like trying to progress a sale at the moment, isn't it? Robots are blowing up and the cars are falling off the line. So we've got to work together. Regulators and trade bodies have to work together. That's really important. They are critical stakeholders. And if they don't talk the same language and they talk about having different aims, their membership is just going to mirror that. And we're never going to change. I think finally something that's really important is residential property industry is hugely important to our economy. This is not just about people buying homes. It's about people who are renting. It's about the money you spend when you're in your house. It's about, all the services you deploy. We need people working in our industry. We need great agents. We need great conveyancers. We need great surveyors. Why on earth would anybody want to come and work in the industry when they pick up a trade press magazine and all they see is people slagging each other off?
Yeah.
And it's not, but it's property's a lovely tangible thing, isn't it? Yeah, we all get it. We all need a home, whether we own it or we rent it. And yet you just see this finger pointing, backstabbing, nastiness, not constructive, not collaborative, not helpful.
No, it's why I chose the industry.
We're beacons of hope, Simon. Beacons of hope and joy.
I love that. I'll put beacon. I'm going to put that on my LinkedIn profile. The beacon of hope.
Beacon of hope.
I'll honour you in it when I put it up there. Obviously, in my old days of CRM, we had fantastic agents that were using it, and let's just say people who weren't getting the most out of it. You mentioned those ones that were really throwing themselves into it. What behaviours? What are they doing? The best ones that the other, just kind of middle of the road users aren't doing? Is it that they're throwing it into it literally every day, or are there other things that affect how well how much you get out of Mio?
So I think the first point to make here is Mio is genuinely very, very simple to use. I'm not had in training. I could jump on the platform now and I could progress a sale. Yeah. So when we say throwing themselves into it, we're not asking somebody to spend 4 hours a day doing something they don't already do. The reality is most agents do some kind of sales progression, probably on a bit of paper.
Yeah.
All we're saying is don't do it on paper, just do it in this platform. And then everybody in your branch can see what's happening. So if you're unwell or, God forbid we go into lockdown, you can all see what's going on, whether you're at home, in the office or on the beach in Spain.
Yeah.
So we're not asking for a massive change. The agents who are using it really effectively are most likely in their morning meetings discussing what's on the Mio dashboard. So they're saying, right, we've got 3 sales at this stage, 4 that are here, and we've got a problem here with this. We can see this is going a bit pear-shaped. So we're going to focus on that. Team are then going to be their team, whether that's 1 person or 6 people. They're going to be going into Mio. They're going to be seeing what tasks they've got to complete. They may be reviewing their notes from the day before, which might say something like, lawyer said this would be with us tomorrow. They're either updating or they're ticking to say it's progressed. And they invited their buyers and sellers to use the app, so they tick that box, the buyer and seller gets an update. And it's that simple, Simon. If you're handling 1 sale, using Mio effectively is probably going to take you 5 minutes a day.
I love that idea of building it into the whole, management meeting review process as well, and that obviously does resonate. That's why it's going to work so well, isn't it, going forward?
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right in thinking is Mio still free till the end of the year?
Is
it free till the end of the year? Is Mio?
Yeah, it's free till the end of the year.
That's fantastic. And so for people, why would you not give it a go realistically when obviously as things start to slow down, this is the perfect opportunity, isn't it, to really be able to assess the tool as I think, just is an absolute essential to any agency, really.
Yeah. And then, we believe in being really transparent about our fee structure, Simon. So as we do go into next year, simple rule, £90 per branch per month.
Oh, it's just, even I can get my head around that. That's brilliant. If it's turning around your pipeline that much more, it's again is a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? I suppose the acid test then is, Emma. You mentioned you're in the middle of moving yourself. How would Mio have helped you? Would it have helped you?
So I totted this up today, Simon, in preparation for this broadcast. I probably spent. Now I'm an informed buyer. I know how to make a transaction go faster. I'd probably spend 15 minutes every single day chasing for updates. And I'm just going to say something really important here. My conveyancer is fantastic. Okay. My agents have been fantastic. The agents I'm buying through have been fantastic. But the reason I'm having to chase is because none of us can all see what's going on. Mio, chain view, da-na-na-na. A few other things that would have made it simpler, Simon, which aren't all to do with what Mio does, but more information on the properties I was viewing up front. I got quite a long way down the purchase process on the property, and I had to withdraw our offer because of information that I think was known at the start of the process coming to light after 6 weeks. Complete waste of time for me and the conveyancer and the agent and the buyer. Less duplication in terms of data. I've lost count of the number. There's one question I think I've been asked by 7 different people. Yes, collect the information in one place, share it with everybody, not rocket science. Digital forms and signatures that I can actually complete without having to completely reformat them. Law society forms, nightmare. And then information being shared between the parties. Just, this is not difficult.
No, it's. I've been lucky enough to have a number of leading Australian agents come over here, and the look on their faces as people explain the process to them, it's just like, you just have to kind of just throw your hands up, don't you, and say, what an apology for a system, really.
Yeah, they're used. I got a fairly good understanding of the Australian market just because of a previous job I used to do, but their use of technology is so far ahead of ours. They are helped because their sales process is slightly different, but I think they are probably a decade, if not 15 years ahead.
That's so frustrating, isn't it? It's cricket, and the sales progression.
And it's sunny, Simon.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's have a look at this then. So, first of all, turnaround, the key takeaways. Turn around the pipeline quicker, obviously. Some of the best users getting that down to 86 days in terms of the transaction time. But, Mio as well just has an immediate impact on the ease and efficiency of sales progression. So that's, again, massive big tick there, isn't it? I would say less stress, more focus, happier team, happier customers, isn't it? Is how that's going to approach. That portal data feed takes away probably one of the biggest objections as well, doesn't it? So, no more rekeying. So, again, just another big efficiency saving there. And, just chasing for updates just makes an agent's life miserable, doesn't it? So, more and more data going into Mio means that you're going to have less and less of that chasing.
And bear in mind that each time the data goes in, if you've asked your consumers to use the app, they're getting it as well. So happy buyers and sellers, which is what we all want.
What a way to finish a Friday. I mean, that's just a no-brainer, isn't it? Tick, tick, tick. Give Emma a ring. And look, I think you've got, it sounds a bit cheeky of me, doesn't it, asking for something for my Kerfuffle members, considering you've already just said it's free of charge. But I believe you actually have been fantastic and even managed to magic something else up, haven't you? Do you want to just give us a bit of an overview on
that? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wasn't there I thought that we were talking about an enhanced revenue share.
Don't think we've progressed that.
That's me as usual. That's me as usual doing it. Don't forget that. We'll delete. Oh no, it's live. It's live. Don't worry. Okay.
It's live. What have you done? You don't need anything enhanced, Simon. We're just an absolute delight to deal with.
I'm going to say, given that it's free, what more can you want, really? Anyway, thank you for coming and giving us an update. Now, I think that really just shows the progression in such a short period of time. If there were any sort of criticisms or grumbles, with those things there, you've automatically closed the door on that. So really,
and Simon, no platform is perfect, but the key point is we listen to what agents tell us, and we will always do our best to resolve it.
Excellent. Well, that's what you want, isn't it? What you want and need. So, look, I think that's great. I think what we'd love to do, Emma, next time as well, maybe get a couple of clients on and talk to you, and that strikes me here from the horse's mouth directly, because it'd be fascinating to hear what some of those best practice clients of yours are getting. And I suppose the final thing for me to wish you well in is on your home move, isn't it?
Thank you, Simon. Yeah. About a month,
Great.
fingers crossed.
Good stuff. Well, look, reach out obviously to Emma or the team directly at Mio, or go to the landing page, as we always encourage people to do. There is if you're interested, just click on the button there, and we will forward all leads through to Emma. And as I said, this is the perfect opportunity to review as we come into the end of the year, isn't it? Emma, once more, thank you very much for the update, and great to hear about the progress there.
Thank you, Simon.
Cheers.